Welcome to the Praetorian Guard demonstration part 5. Praetorian Guard is a Microsoft-based network management, network monitoring, and employee monitoring system. In this demonstration part 5, we're continuing the network administration console. Let's begin. In our last demonstration, we covered the event log analyzer. Now we'll cover the PC inventory analyzer. The PC inventory analyzer allows you to easily view details about the hardware and software of your computers on your network. There are 4 sections: PC summary, PC analysis, policy violations, and the inventory setup. Starting with PC summary, by simply clicking on a computer, I can see the details about that computer in the PC summary screen. This allows me to quickly see the IP address, the work group it's a member of, the company that we've added it into, the organizational unit, details about this equipment such as who is the manufacturer, Dell. If we had a serial number, that would be stored here as well. Purchase date. On the hardware tab, we can see details about the hardware on this server. Praetorian Guard tracks hardware based on the scanning time frame that you tell Praetorian Guard to scan the computer. So whether that be daily or every few hours, however often, Praetorian Guard will scan the computer, both its hardware and its software. And as hardware and software is added or removed, that information is tracked here within the product. So for instance, by coming in here, we have 3 groupings automatically in this grid. They can all be removed and you'll just have a grid that you can view. Right now we're sorted by installation status, so we can see everything that's been installed, whether it's been approved, and whether it's been rejected, and the type. Hardware type being, for example, disk drives. So there are 3 disk drives installed in this computer. You can click through all these. You can pull these groupings out if you'd wish and actually just view the detailed information. You can also go back to the groupings based on what you'd like to see. So for example, maybe you just want to see items that have been approved versus rejected. Now the approved status here is controlled under the event setup, inventory setup. Here we can see hardware policies of what's been accepted and rejected. So for instance, we can click under our disk drives and we can move perhaps the virtual hard drive into the rejected category. Go back and take a look at our PC summary, and under our hardware now we will have a rejected item. So now that we've kind of consolidated here, we can see that the approval status, there's an approved 16 items and there's 1 unapproved item. It's actually 3 items. This hard disk is now unapproved, which can be reported on. So once again, all this information you can easily be sorted and filtered and reviewed. So you can review this across your whole company under PC analysis, but in the PC summary it's just 1 computer at a time. All this information can also be printed and exported out. Next is the software tab. This is just like the hardware tab, but you're viewing software installed on the computer. So for instance, you can also go back to inventory setup and you can set up under software policies items that you do not consider accepted. Perhaps we will reject these. Let's go ahead and put everything in the rejected category. Now if we return to PC summary and look at our software, we'll see that we have unapproved and approved items. So on unapproved, we can quickly see items that now we say are unacceptable to have installed at our company. It also tells us when it was first reported and when it was last reported. So if software was installed and uninstalled, you could see the install date and then the uninstall date. Next is the PC operating inventory. This is data that deals with information collected from the operating system of this computer. notice we have a date range here that we can view. We're looking at the most recent. So we can see shared resources such as shares, environment variables, service details such as services that are running on the computer, etc. We can also see the local users and groups here. So we can actually see what local users exist on this computer and what local groups. Under PC performance, here we can actually load our details and view for a given time range the actual performance of the box. So here we can see the daily average memory usage. So if it's actually using more memory than we actually should, so perhaps it's using almost 100%, we could easily tell here. Under the daily average CPU usage, we can see where our CPU is running. Daily hard drive usage, such as how the hard drives are used on a daily basis, what percentage. And then the actual space usage on the hard drives. And notice here there's a drop-down box that lets us change the hard drive so that we can alter the information down here that we're trying to view on this computer. By changing our from and to dates here and loading data, we can see how it alters now, and we can see that on a daily basis we can see how our processor, our RAM usage is slowly moving up. We can see that our drive space is hovering at a low level, so we're fine. But the more of the date range we choose, the more advanced this details becomes. You can also open the individual graph in a new window if you so choose, or you can preview or print it. And finally, there's the Purchase Warranty tab. Our system allows you to track the actual vendor, the brand, the model, the serial number, and the type and description that you'd like to use, as well as you can scan the purchase receipt and store that in the database. Track how much the system was when you purchased it, how long is the warranty, and when does it expire, and any notes about service problems that you may have occurred with this equipment. And this will be stored with that server as long as you have it, and allows you to report on warranties and see as computers are approaching the extent of their warranties, you know which ones either need to be renewed or new items purchased. Next is PC analysis. With PC analysis, you'll need to choose an item on the left, and then you can start filtering. PC analysis allows you to pull data records from the database and view specific items, software or hardware, and filter on those items and report as you need. So for instance, by clicking on the Windows 7 and clicking the load button with hardware chosen, all the details of the hardware on this computer are loaded in. The details here show that we have approved 74 items and one unapproved item. I can click this to software, or I can simply group these columns just like we had done before in any format that we would like. I can also change it to software and load the software details. Hardware filtering allows you to easily choose these are just generic high-level items, and then amongst those you can see across all the computers on the network, show me everyone, for instance, that has an ATA hard drive. In addition, you can drill down and find, perhaps everyone that has a floppy disk. The same occurs for software filtering. I can easily select my network or individual computers or organizational units, any of these items, and I can say, well, show me everyone that has Adobe installed, Adobe products, and load. And what it shows me is basically the computers and the appropriate software that has it installed on each computer. Next is RAM. I can, for a given time frame, load the data and view the details of the RAM on these computers. So for each computer I can select all of them and graph down here all the computers and the percentage used and the total RAM. This allows me to quickly see how my RAM usage is on my servers or PCs on the network and whether I need to add additional RAM to those computers. That ends the demonstration part 5. Please continue with demonstration part 6.